Welcome to the historic Ocean House, a luxurious hotel that pays homage to New England's golden age of hospitality, with timeless elegance and renewed civility. This treasured resort is the setting of our special broadcast of the Ocean House Author Series, each program featuring nationally best-selling and award-winning authors in a salon-style conversation, hosted by Ocean House owner, actress, and best-selling author Deborah Goodrich Royce. WCRI is pleased to partner with the Ocean House to present this ongoing series, which brings you the best and the brightest of the literary world. Now, let's take you to the Ocean House.
Annabel Monaghan is the New York Times Bestselling and Library Reads Hall of Fame author of It's a Love Story, Summer Romance, Same Time Next Summer, and Nora Goes Off Script, as well as 2 young adult novels and Does This Volvo Make My Butt Look Big?, a selection of laugh-out-loud columns that appeared in the Huffington Post, The Week, and the Rye Record. After 25 years in the suburbs of New York City, she now splits her time between Connecticut and Florida, and her novels have been translated into 22 languages. Welcome, Annabel. Woo! Annabel will be in conversation this evening with Deborah Goodrich Royce. Deborah's latest book, Best Boy, was an instant indie press bestseller, and Reef Road, a national bestseller, was named one of the best books of 2023 by Kirkus Reviews. She began as an actress on All My Children and in multiple films before transitioning to the role of story editor at Miramax Films. With her husband Chuck, Deborah restored the Avon Theater, Ocean House Hotel, Deer Mountain Inn, United Theater, and Martin House Books. Annabel and Deborah will now discuss Annabel's latest book, Dolly All The Time. After the discussion, we'll open it up to questions, so please just raise your hand. We'll run you a mic. And that is all for me. So without any further ado, please join me in giving a warm welcome to Annabel Monaghan and Deborah Goodrich Royce.
Thank you, Lindsay. Do you like our new banner? So the banner before, I always felt a little bit like the Little Rascals, like we just hung up a sheet and this looks nice. I'm very pleased.
Legit.
It's for you, Annabel. Yes.
Yeah.
Now it's real because Annabel's here. So I love this book.
Thank you.
I will begin by saying that I love all of your books, and I have many questions for you.
All right.
But why don't you start by giving us your elevator pitch for Dolly All The Time?
So it is the story. How many people have already read this book? Okay, that's good to know. It's the story of Dolly Brick, who is a single mom with a full-time teaching job and 3 side hustles. And she is basically everybody's emergency contact, including her aging father and her disabled brother. And when the story starts, she has to return to where they live in Whitfield, Rhode Island, which I made up, to deal with a family emergency. And she finds herself in a fake dating situation with Stuart Whitfield himself, who is equally hardworking and very handsome and rich.
So you're mixing a little bit. We've got some Cinderella vibes.
Some Cinderella vibes,
and
yes.
We've got some Pretty Woman vibes.
Yes, which are kind of the same vibes.
Yes. With Cinderella, though, I don't think any money was exchanged.
No,
that
but
we know of.
You know she was going to not be scrubbing the floors anymore, which is its own currency, in my opinion.
So, talk about why that makes us feel so good.
It just does. It is. There is this feeling. It's funny you asked me that because nobody's ever asked me that question before. When you read or watch a story like that, it is like you see the injustice or the situation that you would like changed. And over 2 hours or 400 pages, you see the person that you adore, who is so good-hearted, get all the things that she could possibly get, like in wish fulfillment. And I think that in any life situation, that would make you happy. In a time when the world is in a really peculiar state, I think that those stories matter even more. Just that, like, I know this is going to end well. I'm going to turn the page.
But it doesn't ever go in a straight line. And how did they used to say it with movies like screwball comedies. Was it boy gets girl, boy loses girl, boy gets girl again? How did that go? Who remembers better than I?
You want the girl, you get the girl, you lose the girl.
Yeah.
And then it all works out.
Right.
That's basically the romance genre. You've just defined the genre of romance. And it's funny because like I used to think, like before I wrote Nora Goes Off Script, I was watching a lot of Hallmark movies, and I was like, this must be so easy to write. I mean, these people have the easiest job. Because with romance, that's it. There's your plot. Like you write the plottiest, most complicated books.
Romance. I'm plotty.
Yeah, no, romance is just like they're gonna meet, they're gonna fall in love, there's gonna be a problem, it's gonna work out. And that should just be like falling off a log. But the complexity in writing romance is why are they going to fall in love, and what's the problem going to be that after having put somebody through 300 pages of this book is actually going to make sense to the reader and hurt. That's the complicated
Make
part.
them care.
Yes.
So your origin story, you've alluded to it just now, but I think it's such a good story. I want to hear, you were injured, you're in the bed, you're watching the Hallmark movies. Go ahead.
Okay, so that was the Nora origin story. I was in bed watching Hallmark movies, and I wrote that book because I was like, wow, I wonder if you could ever be a romance writer who's never really been in love, and how fun would that be to like run her through that epic romance. Do you want the origin story for this book?
Yeah.
Okay, so this one was because I wanted to write a book set in Rhode Island. And it was mainly because you've brought me here so many times.
I'm so glad. It's all because of you.
Well, no, and this is the only time I've ever been to Rhode Island, is to come here. And the cliffs and the Taylor Swift of it all, it's just like, I didn't know what I was going to write about when I finished It's a Love Story, and I thought, I just want to write a book in Rhode Island. So my husband and I went on a business trip to Newport for like 4 days, and we stayed in one of the beautiful cliffside hotels, and we did the cliff walk every day, and it was quite dramatic, and we toured all the mansions. And the mansion tours go like this. The beginning is the great wealth was developed by this generation because they were in steel or whatever. And then you go through the house, and at the end, and it was all lost during this generation. Please exit through the gift shop. And after I heard that like 4 times, I thought, this isn't fun anymore. Like, these are people's bathtubs that I'm looking at. And it got me thinking about that generation, that last generation, and the person in the family who probably felt like it was all their fault. Like, there's one person in every family who keeps the plate spinning. Like, oh, I got it, I'll do it, I'll take care of it. That person in that family, that must have been rough. So this book, I was thinking about Stuart before I was thinking even about what this story was about. And then I thought about all the times in my life that I've basically been the only person keeping the plate spinning in my community and my family and everything that I'm doing. And I thought it might be interesting to pair a guy like that who's worried about his family legacy with a woman who is worried about how she's going to come up with $70 for her son to get new sneakers.
Well, she's keeping the plate spinning too, in her own family, in its own scale.
Exactly. It's actually exactly the same problem, except one person has money, the other one doesn't have money. So I thought it would be fun to get people with the exact same problem together and just see what happens. I didn't know what would happen.
And that what you're talking about is such a uniquely American setup with money, because we do not do anything to preserve generational wealth historically. I mean, you could argue that people hide money and do all that stuff, but if you look at England, for example, where they have primogeniture and everything goes to one child, not all the children, they're really working to keep the pile together. Whatever happens to all those extraneous children, we don't do that.
As the third born in my family, there's something about that bugs me so much. But the eldest child is the most precious child in that situation.
Mm-hmm. And most screwed up. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
We'll take a short break and be back with the Ocean House Author Series here on WCRI.
Ocean House, located on the scenic Atlantic Ocean and historic Watch Hill, is one of only 14 triple five-star resorts in the world, with superb guest accommodations, a world-class spa, dining, and events. This year, Ocean House is once again hosting one of their most popular events, the Ocean House Author Series with Deborah Goodrich Royce. Enjoy her discussion with authors Shannon Garvey and Deborah Curtis on Thursday, July 16th at 5 p.m. Along with their publisher, special guest, the Today Show's Jenna Bush Hager, they will be discussing their debut novels, June Baby and Laws of Love and Logic. Attendance includes a signed copy of the featured book, insightful conversation, as well as complimentary wine and delicious light bites. Held at the breathtaking Ocean House, this exciting event begins at 5 p.m. Thursday, July 16th. For information and tickets, go to oceanhouseevents.com. That's oceanhouseevents.com.
And we're back with the Ocean House Authors Series on WCRI.
You're funny, and I was thinking a lot about that as I was writing my questions. And not everybody's funny, and funny is like the highest standard for me. Even though I write thrillers, they have to be funny. I mean, because life is
funny. It's so bizarre the way your thrillers are funny.
Thank you. So how did you get to be funny? Was it being the third child? Was it birth order? Were you from a funny family?
You know, again, a question I've never been asked. So I am the youngest of three, and my oldest brother was disabled when he was 16. So he was he was the smart one. And you'll see him in this story. Dolly's brother has the exact disability, head injury that my brother had. So he was smart, and then 5 years after him was my sister, who is famously beautiful. And then 5 years after me is the one who's like, I'm like just running around, I'm the baby. And the only way that I could get attention was to get up and put on a show. So that may have been like a coping thing. My mother was very funny. In a very dark way, actually. Sometimes my mom would make a joke and I would be like, we can't say that. Not everything's funny. But no, it might have been just being the baby. I don't know.
My mother was like that too. Where's Jennifer? Jennifer Kenya is here from Michigan. She lived next door to me, although she's 300 years younger than I am. And my mom was funny, wasn't she? Yeah. No, funny's good. Funny is, you gotta have funny because life is so hard. So what I think about your rom-coms, you've got all the setup, you've got the palpitations and the butterflies and all, but the funny is there, and it has to be there to make it work, book after book.
Well, you know what? Now that you're saying this, it's reminding me that around this time last year, because I am like on a Groundhog Day clock, I write a book every year, and this is the what's the Dark Night of the Soul is always right now in the year, because like my book's not working. This time last year, my editor said, I really love this book, but just so you know, it's not funny. And I said, I know it's not funny, but not everything has to be funny. Like, I just wrote a book that's not funny, and I think we need to get over ourselves. And she said, that's fine. It's just not funny. And I'm like, it's okay. We can handle that. And then I started bringing Dolly's friend Naomi into into more scenes. Like, all I had to do was just have her walk into the room, and then everything's funny.
Yeah.
It was so odd.
Yeah, it is.
It was like she was like, here, I'm funny. Can I help save your book?
Okay, so that leads directly to process and kind of the magic and mystery of writing a book. So you kind of know where you're going a little bit. You've got a little bit of a flag you're holding up or whatever, but then in comes this character who evolves and develops. Share that with people, how that goes.
You know, it's I don't plot. I think it's like kills the magic. And if I did plot and killed the magic, I would be much more efficient and my editor would adore me. But I just don't, like, it just seems like homework if I have an outline or something. But what happens with characters is, like, on the first page of this book, my brother walked in and I was like, I'm not writing about my brother. But there he was, and he was fully formed on the page, and I was like, I guess we're doing this. Like, and then in contrast, her father, through like 5 drafts of this book, was like a stick figure that just kind of showed up and had crab cakes. Like, he had no personality, he had no arc, nothing, and it took a lot of drafts for him to become a person. So sometimes it's a lot of work, sometimes people just are given to you. Naomi just arrived the way she was.
So with the brother, though, so the traumatic brain injury, you write it very, very well. Obviously, you've had this go on in your family. But I want to nuance what I'm saying. The part of it that you write next level well is how Dolly and everyone copes with it, because at a certain point it does become normal. And Dolly is able to, without high emotion, remind her brother to put on pants over and over. That's funny, because you don't dramatize it. And it is both poignant and it's funny.
Which is exactly what it was. My brother's life was poignant and funny. He would just say whatever he thought at any given moment, and it was usually the most inappropriate thing that the rest of us were thinking. He was on every medication, like, take them all. I literally so heavily medicated, and it just was what it was. And I didn't, if you're going to write disability, you have to do a lot of research and you have to get it right out of just respect for everybody who's dealing with that. I just knew that the only way I could do this was just to do somebody that was exactly the person that I knew. And the thing with her brother that became important to me in the story, that kind of reflected off of my experience with my brother, is that when you have somebody who is severely disabled, you are going to take care of them. And you're going to do everything you can to make sure that nothing happens to them. And I feel like my brother has passed since, but I kind of feel like we never asked anything of him. Like, we just made sure nothing ever happened to him. And we kept him, like, happy and comfortable his entire life. But, like, maybe there was more for him if, like, maybe we took care of him too much. And that's something that Dolly kind of deals with throughout the story, is like, she's this ultimate caretaker. She does everything for everybody. But as a result, like, nobody around her really knows how to do anything, because they're like, oh, Dolly's got it. Oh, she knows how to do everything. So that was kind of the point of the story.
So you write that particularly well in the relationship between Dolly and her sister. The sister is how many years younger?
Yes, that one.
Oh.
She's barely younger. I think she's 18 months younger or something.
So I don't think it's a spoiler to say that the mother has left the family when the girls are growing up after an accident.
Yes.
Which is the precipitating event for the brother as well.
Yes.
Where he sustains the brain injury. And Dolly goes into over-functioning mode from that moment till the day we meet her.
Yeah.
So talk about that relationship with the two sisters and Dolly's way of coping.
Well, so Dolly is, she fills the void that her mother leaves, and she fills that void by doing, taking care of Christopher, taking care of her sister, which is ridiculous because her sister is just 18 months younger than she is. But she is this kind of a person, and she, at that moment, loses the sister relationship and the friendship that she has with her sister and becomes her mother. And so their businesses, they have a fish shop, and she takes all of her sister's shifts at the fish shop so that her sister can play soccer after school. And when her sister comes in, she's pulling a chicken out of the oven. And she becomes that person in the family in a very willing way. But you know how sometimes it just gets under your skin after a while that, like, how come I host Thanksgiving every year? Why isn't any... She has this very quiet resentment that towards the end of the book I force her to look at.
And beautifully so. And you give that sister, who's not a primary character, you give her a wonderful moment
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I really, really like that, because I think we do have those family dynamics. Somebody does become the martyr of the family.
Right.
And Dolly's got that going on.
Right. And is going to punish everybody with it. You know, and the question that I asked Dolly at some point is, would it kill you to let your sister bring a pie to Thanksgiving? Like, no, I'll do it. I'll do it. You know, at some point you have to kind of give that up. I also want to say that my sister hosts Thanksgiving every single year, and I don't want anything about this book ever to change that, because it's the single best thing in my life.
Because you're the baby of the family.
I'm the baby. And I show up, she asks me to bring a couple of pies. Sometimes I buy them. Like, here are the pies. I worked so hard. Anyway, she's the best.
So I have a question for you. What makes you happiest about your books? Is it the writing of them? Is it when you read it and it gels? Is it the reaction of your readers? What's kind of the peak of a book for you?
Can you guys stand up? Can you two stand up?
I was just so excited.
Sorry. Could you
All right,
just
turn around.
Look at their t-shirts. I mean, it is so, okay, so I sit by myself. I'm gonna get all emotional. I sit by myself with my
got a
dog.
tissue?
Yeah, it's so silly. I just sit there and I make stuff up, right? And it's like comes out of like all of my childhood trauma and my romantic ideas, and I like write these books. And then I put them on paper, and the fact that like you guys read my books and made t-shirts, it is just like, it makes me feel like I live in a totally different reality than I thought was possible. So that, I love the writing. You know, a lot of writers will tell you, I love to have written, I love when it's over. I really love writing. I even love like the horrible part I'm in now where nothing works. But just like that, like the way that like I feel connected to you guys is just an amazing thing.
Will you stand up? I want to read the t-shirt because it's
It's
on
amazing.
the radio. So it says Nora and Sam and Allie and Jane and Dolly and Annabel. So if you're listening in Radio Land, that's what it says. And I would agree with you. I think in many ways we do this to connect. You know, we're human beings kind of bouncing around on this planet. And when there's that moment of connection like this, or when someone says, you know, they cried at a scene or it resonated, it's everything.
Yeah, it's a very very deep need that we all have is to be known and to be able to show people like this is who I am. I was thinking this in Best Boy. I was thinking that I knew you really well in the scene where she goes under Detroit and then she's making the dioramas and she has this idea. While I was reading that book, I was like, I know Deborah differently now.
Yeah.
It's magic.
Well, and the whole writing process is a revelation of yourself. People have asked me, do I prefer writing or acting? And it's writing because there's so much more of yourself in it. And it's this way of connecting. Speaking of thrillers, you've talked about reading thrillers. So I want to hear about what you read for fun.
So I just started listening to Lisa Jewell's new book today. Man, I'm on. She just does no wrong. And this, I just love the creepy English stuff. I just love it. I love it. And especially when I'm really deep in writing, because I don't want to read romance. I don't want to get like a paragraph of Emily Henry's in my head and then wake up early in the morning and be like, oh, I have a great idea. Because that will happen. I mean, I don't know how that doesn't happen all the time. You know, you like hear a song and you're like, did I make that up or did I hear that somewhere? Anyway, so that is, I just love to read thrillers. I love your books. The one that's a crossover between thriller and romance is This Story Might Save Your Life by Tiffany Crum. Like, make a romance a thriller. Why, like, Come on.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
I mean, that is, to me, that is the ultimate book. I love that.
So we're going to go to reader questions in a minute, but I want to say something to you, and how do I say this? You are in the midst of a huge success.
Thank you.
And I would like you to talk about how you cope or don't cope with that, and if you think, I mean, obviously I'm predisposing what I think, you cope better with it because, you're not 22 and right out of college, or do you think you would have coped with it differently as a younger person? And talk about the success and how you keep it in perspective, or don't, as the case may be. Maybe you're a screaming diva.
No, it's the best question. Where are my orange M&Ms? No, I'm just kidding.
You guys were supposed to bring in those orange M&Ms.
You guys, where's my trailer? I think sometimes, I shouldn't say who it is, even if I could think of who it was. Something similar happened to a young writer at their first book, and I thought, dear God, help them. Because if all of a sudden what you're doing becomes outsized and it becomes your whole life. But if you're 56, like your kids are calling you, your adult kids, and they've got problems, and it's like no one really cares about your big success. Like it all keeps it in perspective. It's also like this book has, the Good Morning America thing has made it a bigger book, and it's gotten a lot of stuff. But it's my fifth book of these. So it's not like out of the gate, this set the standard and then I'm going to be disappointed forever. Like, I've been doing this for a while. So in that sense, it feels like it's just much easier to deal with at this particular phase of life. Also, I'm really good at compartmentalizing things. So my team at Putnam called me in September and told me that this was the Good Morning America pick, which is like a big deal, right? And they said, you cannot tell a soul. And I'm like, but it's not coming out for 9 months. And the only thing to do then is to completely forget about it.
Yeah.
You can't be excited about something for 9 months that you can't talk about. So I put it to bed. And then May 1st, I woke up and I was like, what? And I remembered, and then all this stuff has happened. But there's so, besides running, I think everything is easier when you're 56 than it was when you're 26.
Totally. But I also would add, I hope you're enjoying it. I think as we go along, and I'm older than you are, and things happen to friends and family, and I think we're also called to somehow try to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because we know now how ephemeral any of it can be.
Yeah, this could be this could be it.
Yeah.
It could be.
It's not.
No.
But
one thing that's amazing, though, is I am not tired. And I've been noticing how I'm not tired, like doing all the things. And I'm like, why am I not tired? And the reason I'm not tired is because I don't get nervous anymore. So the first time I would be like in the fetal position, sweating because I was going on book tour, and that was all the energy I had to spend.
Right.
And then I'd get there, I'd be like, hi guys, I'm so tired of being stressed out. Now I'm just not nervous because I've done this before, and so it's better.
Yeah.
I can enjoy it.
Which makes sense. Are you comfortable talking about what you're working on now?
Sure. Anybody want to help me finish it? I am like all ears. It is a story about a young woman. It starts with she's young. She's a senior in college, and she's traveling on the slow train from Manhattan to Montauk to see her best friend at her best friend's beach house. And a guy sits down next to her on the train, and she falls in love with him. And they get off he's like the guy. And he is, by the way. He's so cute. And she gets off the train. Her best friend is on the platform and runs into his arms because this is the guy that she had planned the whole weekend around seeing. And so then we jump forward. Now they're all 39. And we are going to go back and forth in time about what happened then and what's happening now and how it all went down and what's actually happening now. Yeah. I'll get better at talking about this when I finish it.
So you know what I just watched?
Tell me.
Leave Her to Heaven with Gene Tierney. Two people meet on a train, but it's so not your story. It's so not a rom-com.
I was going to ask you how it ends.
You should watch it with Gene Tierney. The reason I watched it, my mother, who was funny, as we said, my mother often made film references. And one thing she would say was, that's just like Leave Her to Heaven. And I always thought, what is she talking about? What does that mean? And I watched the movie, and I have no idea what she meant by it. Because it turns out the woman, Gene Tierney, who was magnificently beautiful and one of my favorite actresses, she's like cuckoo obsessive. What was my mother talking about? We need to, Jennifer, do you know? Anyway, watch that movie.
Okay, I will watch that movie.
Yeah, it's worth watching.
I do like a train.
We'll take a short break and be back with the Ocean House Author Series here on WCRI.
You have the perfect family, a beautiful home, and a secret that should have stayed buried. But the past doesn't care about your new life. Discover the latest work from hotelier and nationally best-selling author Deborah Goodrich Royce. Her newest psychological thriller, Best Boy, is a taut, gripping exploration of identity, memory, and the dangerous power of forgetting. Unlock the mystery today, whether for yourself or the reader in your life. Pick up Best Boy by Deborah Goodrich Royce, available wherever books are sold. Visit DeborahGoodrichRoyce.com for more information on Best Boy, Deborah Goodrich Royce, and the Ocean House Author Series. Best Boy. Some stories were never meant to stay hidden.
And we're back with the Ocean House Author Series on WCRI.
All right, questions, people. We want your questions.
Hello.
Hi.
First, I need to say I'm here with the Rhode Island Beach Reads and Bubbly.
Love you guys.
Second thing I have to say is my husband also has a 1995 Range Rover Classic. So talking about Stewart's 1994 Range Rover just really hit home with me. So I really understand that everything after 95 is terrible. So
All downhill from
I've
there.
heard it many, many times.
That is so funny.
But my question is, I thought it was a really interesting comment when Stewart mentioned that Dolly's family was easy. And then towards the end of the book, we see how Dolly kind of comes to terms with her family and how she's like recognizing that they've been stuck in the past. So do we think that Dolly's family is easy compared to Stewart's?
You know, first of all, I just want to say I consulted with a really rich guy who has a lot of classic stuff, and I'm like, what's the car? And he told me that car. So yes, he's gonna be really glad to know he was right. Actually, I think that other people's families do seem easy. And the reason other people's families seem easy is because we don't have issues with other people's family. You know, you meet people's parents and you're like, your parents are the best. And they're like, oh, are you kidding me? So I don't know that her family is necessarily easy, but they don't sweat a lot of stuff, right? Like if you regularly have a brother who just shows up with no pants, you're not like worried there's a little dust on the dining table, you know? So they do seem, you know, they just have the one veranda, not two verandas. They probably do feel easy to Stewart.
There's one here.
In the front row.
I feel like I shouldn't stand. I don't want to block everyone. This book really resonated with me as an eldest daughter and kind of people pleaser. Was it hard for you to get into that mindset knowing you're the baby and like having to shift into what is like the oldest sibling and the caretaker have to go through?
No. And the reason is because in my family, I'm the oldest sibling in a lot of ways. There's stuff I deal with, and there's stuff my sister deals with. And I don't know why those things fall to each other. I just know a lot of people, and if you have been to enough girls' nights, you have heard the stories of the person in the family that is, they go up, they go down, they take care of everybody, and on any level, what I think is so strange is how we're assigned our roles in the family, and who gives them to us, and why do we even accept them? But it's stuff that happens like that in a family. It doesn't happen out loud. It's just I'm going to ask the most capable one to do it, right? And then that person becomes more capable, and then that person doesn't ask for help because it's just easier to do it yourself when you're really capable. We all know this, right? It's like raising children. You don't want your kids really to make dinner. It's going to be disgusting. I'll do it. So no, it's just basically a lifetime of research just being around.
And don't you find yourself a little bit doing that with your own children when they're young? I mean, one does. You have to try to catch yourself from saying, the athletic one, the intellectual one. I mean, we do that.
I try not to talk.
Yeah, it's better.
It really is, because, and that's what it is. Our brains are made to sort. That's what we do. We sort. Good, bad, up, down. Smart, dumb. That's what we're doing all the time.
Yep.
And when you're a mother, you just have to zip it. They're all good. Or not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Here's one.
Thank you. Hi, so nice to see you. I'm wondering, you wrote Nora off script after being in bed with an injury and watching Hallmark movies, but were you a writer as a child? What was the path before that to becoming the writer that you are?
Yes, this did not come out of nowhere. I was a writer in my mind. That was something that I liked to do when I was little, and I was 100% sure that's what I would do with my life. Obviously, you're going to become an astronaut. When you're little, you just have ideas. And so I went to college. I was an English major. I took all the writing classes because I was going to write a book, obviously. And then I hit the moment where I was a senior in college, and I realized I didn't have a trust fund. And if that ever happens to any of you, call me. It's terrible. And all my friends were moving to New York City. So I was I can't, what? I realized that it was the worst idea ever. So I got a job. And I worked on Wall Street, and I went to business school. I met these very attractive people while I was there. And I met my husband also, which was bonus. And anyways, went back to Wall Street, was terrible at it, hated it. And then I was home with 3 kids before I wrote anything. So I wrote my first book that was published when I was 37. And that was not successful. And then I wrote another one that was not, but they were published. And then I started writing a column for $30 a week for my local paper, and that took off in a meaningful way. I had people contacting, it was a thing, and I did that for 10 years, and basically from 40 to 50, developing my voice as a grown-up writer, and that's how long it took me to actually sit down and write the book I wanted to write. So I'm a big late starter. If any of you are thinking it's too late to do the thing that you wanted to do, it's not as late as it was for me. I was 50 years old.
Yeah, I'm in the same club.
Yeah.
But I think that whatever you're doing in the process to kind of get to know what your own voice is and get to see that other people recognize how it is you express yourself and respond to it, it becomes very sustaining. I wasn't writing a column, but I was in writing groups, and it was a similar process of thinking, maybe I have my own way of saying something.
Well, it's also a confidence game.
Yeah.
And I don't think I had, I think I just woke up when I was 50 with my confidence. I was like, oh, there's my confidence. Where have you been? And that, it is a big leap of faith to think you can write a book.
Huge.
And I did not have that confidence when I was younger, so I couldn't have done it then.
My husband, in fact, who built this hotel, when I was 55, when I was writing my first book, and I told some friends, I'm writing a book, and he was like, I really wouldn't tell anybody that if I were you.
Same.
I was like, I'm not publishing, an announcement in the New York Times, but actually it was good for me to kind of put the flag in the sand, and it made me live up to what I was doing.
The first time I told my husband that I was writing a book, this was the first time I did it, he felt so sorry for me, like the pity. He was like, oh, honey. Like I was trying out for the NBA or something. Like, this, okay, you're pretty. Like, just, it was so sad.
Oh, those husbands.
Yes.
More questions?
Hi. So I got to see you last summer, and at that time, the town had a different name.
I was there too. Were you there?
I was there.
Oh my God, this was the best night.
So the town had a different name, and it was Wickford, which is a real town. I was just wondering, was that like a really big change? Like, was that a time-consuming change in that point of the writing process?
No. So can I tell the story? So we were in Narragansett. Where were we? Wakefield. Okay, so, and I'm just telling everybody, I'm like, you guys, my next book is set in this town that I made up in Rhode Island, and it's called Wickford. And everybody in the room is from here. And they're like, no, there's a Wickford. And I'm like, no, because the guy's name's Stuart Wickford, and so here's what happened. I came to Newport, and I did this whole thing, and I must have seen a sign for Wickford. This is what I'm talking about, and it snuck in. And then when I got home and I was like, Wickford's it, I Googled Wickford, Rhode Island, and there is no Wickford, Rhode Island, because it's a village. It's not a city. So it didn't come up, and I was like, look how creative I am. I totally made this up. And so the day after that event, I email my editor, who kind of thinks I'm an idiot, and I'm like, guess what? And so I gave her like five alternatives, and it was basically copy and paste. It was not a big thing. But when I was driving up here today, I saw an exit off of 95 that is Goose Lane. And I'm like, I didn't make up Goose Lane either. There is, like, I don't even know if we were in Rhode Island yet, but there's a Goose Lane. It's
Turns out.
Yes.
Yeah, the mind. It is.
I'm not calling it the mind.
Interesting.
I don't know.
With AI, I mean, it's just a fascinating time. You had a question, right?
Yes.
Okay, hang on. Wait for the mic.
Hi. So my favorite question to ask authors is, how do you come up with characters' names? Is it people like like in person that like inspires you, or is it just other books that you read that like inspire you?
So it's the opposite of that.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So for me, it is process of elimination. So it's like not my children's names, not my husband's name, not any of the guys I've dated in my life's name. So now there's like 4 names of men that I can use in books. That's it. Like, I'm out of names. They can't be my kids' friends' names, their girlfriends' names, my friends' names, because people are like, oh, is this book about me? I'm like, no, none of my books are about anybody. So it's that. First, it's process of elimination, and then it's like the feel of the name. Like Dolly. Dolly is a person that I met at a book signing, actually. She like put her Post-it on her book, and I saw it, and I looked at her face, and I was like, I'm gonna write a book about Dolly. Like, that is the cutest name I've ever heard in my life. But like Nora feels like a heavy, grounded name, and I wanted her to have a name like that. And then I also look at the other characters in the book, and I don't like to have like Ollie and Millie. Like, I don't like them to be too similar.
That's a very important point.
It has to have a mouthfeel.
The book I just finished, which is a murder ghost story, mother-daughter murder ghost story.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
So much fun.
Thank God.
Yeah. But I had a Lou and a Luke, and it's always good to read a book aloud for so many reasons. And as I was reading it, and it took me a while to notice Luke, and I thought, no, that's confusing.
Yeah.
So Lou became Charlie.
And people that read quickly, like you're even just the first letter, Tess and Ted, it's like...
no, you have to be really careful.
Yeah, you have to be careful.
That. All right, we have time for 1 or 2 more. Here we go.
You earned it.
Yeah, go ahead.
So one of my favorite things about the book that I found, really enjoyable was the kind of different take on the fake dating trope, which to me was like that there were so many people, there were people that were included in on like the secret, and I feel like that's uncommon, and that kind of made it really next level for me, that like there were the close family and friends that knew, and so, you know, so often it's like, what do you mean you're dating that? Like, when did you guys even meet? And there was that, but because they were included, it seemed a lot more plausible as far as her close circle. So I'm wondering why you decided to include, you know, multiple people in on this secret, as opposed to just like, oh, I'm telling this one friend, and shh, don't tell.
You know, first of all, no one's ever asked me that. And I will tell you, I did not think about it at all. Because it did feel really implausible. She's not the kind of person who would lie to her son. She's not the kind of person who would lie to anybody. So it just felt like that would be the most natural. It would be so unnatural for her to be lying for $60,000. Although she really works pretty hard for $70. But yeah, no, I didn't really think about it. But I will say that fake dating is the greatest of all the tropes.
But wait, is this a thing? Has anybody in this room fake dated anybody?
No, not one person. I will give you $1 million. It is not a thing. It is the dumbest premise in the world. But it is so fun to read and to watch, and it's so fun to write.
I loved it. It was fun to read.
There's so many opportunities for touching, and also there's so many opportunities for, like, they're not in each other's worlds because this is an arrangement, so they're not ever actually going to date, so they can open up to each other about themselves and their lives without any fear of like ever seeing each other. They don't even know the same people. So it's such a good vehicle for people getting to know each other. And now I'm worried I can't do fake dating again because I already did it. So I know. I really do want to. But anyways.
We have one more question.
Okay, just for fun, if you had to pick a book boyfriend from all of your male main characters, who would it be?
Oh,
Dan Finnegan. It's a love story, yes. Yes, he's broke. His apartment smells like chemicals. He totally does it for me. And I had to put him, when I finish a book, those people are dead to me because I'm starting a new book. It took me a while, like, to just release him from whatever part of my heart he lives in. Do you want to know my least appealing? Leo Vance.
Oh!
Movie star in a leather jacket, please. He is not, I fell in love with him in the story, but in real life, no thank you.
Because you had a thing in your town, right? In Rye, there was somebody who came to town, wasn't there?
Justin Timberlake came to my town for 1 month, and the women in my town went mad. It was they were all blowing their hair out to pick up their dry cleaning. It was so funny. Yes, it was sort of like that. It was silly, although I do like Justin Timberlake.
Thank you all.
Thank you for joining us for this special broadcast of the Ocean House Author Series with Deborah Goodrich Royce. Please tune in each month as we'll bring you a new Ocean House Author Series highlighting nationally best-selling and award-winning authors in a salon-style conversation. Hosted by Ocean House owner, actress, and best-selling author Deborah Goodrich Royce. WCRI is pleased to be partnering with the Ocean House to bring you this ongoing series highlighting the best and brightest of the literary world. Thank you once again for joining us. And in the words of Margaret Atwood, in the end, we all become stories.